My parable, if I may, is about a hero of mine. When people ask me who my favourite urbanist is, I say it's King David I of Scotland. David in the 12th century was a king in the Canmore dynasty, founded a whole series of towns in Scotland just after a period of troubled times in our history. Isn't it interesting? You see programmes about Scotland on TV, things are always happening after a period of troubled time. You know, no cuckoo clocks and chocolate for us. It's all whiskey and porridge, and if you're lucky, Athelbros in your day off. Anyway, David was a king at a time when kings were kings, not touchy-feely. You know, serious guy, big hair, horses. Black leather. Oh no, sorry, that's probably his architect. Anyway, David did what kings do, which is to decide he had to keep the church in order and tax his people. And he decided that the best way of keeping the church in order and taxing his people was to build a series of towns. And again, he did what clients do. Thought, how do you build towns? So he these days he would go on his mobile phone to his mates. He spoke to some other kings, got on the king network, and called into place some guys from the Low Countries who built some other towns. So I hear, John of wherever, you know, you've done quite a lot of work in Ghent. Do you think that would be relevant to Scotland? Anyway, he brought across a number of experienced town builders, and I suppose in our parlance today, you would say he set up a consultancy panel of these guys, and he sent them out to where he wanted to found these towns, like here in Montrose, gave them some guiding principles as a client, and then asked them to make themselves known to the local people, got billeted with the local people, and engage with them about how you might build a town in this location. So I suppose you could say he followed a programme of community planning. And they laid these towns out in the original market town in Scotland, the Royal and Ancient Boroughs. They laid them out on site in a process that I suppose today we call a charrette. And when they sort of got that together, they'd figured out where the town was going to be laid out and all that sort of stuff. All to a certain well-defined pattern of a market. Safety for people. Here's Elgin, for example. He then went back and, these guys went back and reported to the king. And I was relaying this story to Jerry Grams of Glasgow City the other day, and Jerry said, "Oh, you mean they had to come back for design review with the king?" And I said, "Yeah, I suppose you could say that." So the parable about this is that there's very little new, really.